Bright Tuty. Every student matters.
In this class, we are going to begin with the fifth poem of Class 8 Alternative English Novel of 4, which is The Schoolboy, written by William Blake. Now, as the title in itself suggests, the poem is about a school-going boy. But what do you think were the feelings of this boy who had to go to school every day? Was he happy or he was sad? Now certainly this boy was not at all happy going to school. He found solace, he found happiness in the nature. Listening to the birds, listening to the horn of the huntsman was something that gave him pleasure. On the other hand, going to the school, reading the books, listening to his teacher were things that did not give him any happiness at all. Also, at the end, he compared himself to a bird. He compared himself to a bird in cage as well. So we shall read this poem and learn about the feelings of this boy and why he was not happy going to school. So, the schoolboy in the poem, as I told you, is not a happy child. What makes him unhappy? Why does he compare himself to a bird that lives in a cage or a plant that withers when it should blossom, withers that dries down when it is the season for it to bloom? Let us read to find that out. I love to rise in a summer morn when the birds sing on every tree. The distant huntsman winds his horn, and the skylark sings with me. Oh, what sweet company! So I over here refers to the schoolboy, and the schoolboy tells us that I love to rise in a summer morning. That every morning he loves to wake up early. When the birds sing on every tree, he loves to listen to the birds singing on the trees. The distant huntsman winds his horn. Distant, far away. He could hear the horn which is blown by a hunter which is far away from him. And the skylark sings with me. Skylark is a bird, and this boy is in such great love with nature that he feels and believes that the skylark also sings with him. Oh, what sweet company! And for him, it is this company which makes him feel amazing. It is this company which makes him feel happy. So, the boy loves to wake up every morning early. He loves to listen to the birds that sit on the tree. He loves to hear the horn which is, blown by the hunter, which is at a distance from him. And he also believes that the skylark, a bird, also gives him company, sings along with him. But to go to school in a summer morn, oh, it drives all joy away. Under a cruel eye outworn, the little ones spend the day in sighing and dismay. So he says that going to school in the summer morning drives all the joy away. Drives all the joy away means all his happiness comes to an end the moment he is told to go to school. Under a cruel eye outward. Cruel eye over here refers to his teacher. And he wishes to say that the entire day he is supposed to be under the vigilance, he is supposed to be under the strict observation of his teacher. So under the strict observation of the teacher, the little ones, the school-going kids of his age, he said, they simply spend their day in sighing and dismay. Sighing and dismay means in being unhappy, in being without any joy, in being very sad and depressed and disappointed. So what does the little boy tell us in the second stanza? He says that going to school, waking up early in the summer morning is something that makes him feel very happy. But going to school in the summer morning takes away all his happiness. He feels that when the kids of his age go to school and have to be under the strict observation of their strict teacher, that takes away all their happiness and they spend the entire day being sad and disappointed. Then at times I drooping sit and spend many an anxious hour. Nor in my book can I take delight, nor sit in learning's bar, borne through with the dreary shock. So he says, then at times when I go to school, I sit with a drooping head, drooping, bent down head, with a head bent down. So he says that at time, whenever I'm going to school, there are moments when I feel so sad and depressed that I simply sit with my head bent low and spend the anxious hour and spend whatever time I am in school very anxiously, very nervously, very, full of fear and full of timidity. So he is not at all happy being in school and just passes the time in school. Nor in my book can I take delight. He says that I do not find any delight, any happiness in the books that I read, nor sitting in learning's bower. Nor do I feel that sitting in that learning bower. Learning's bower means sitting in that room where I am getting the continuous teachings, continuous lecture of my teacher. I neither get any happiness, joy from the book that I read, nor do I derive anything good from the lectures that are given to me by my teacher. Borne through with the dreary shower. And the entire day I get worn out. Worn out, I get very tired listening to that dreary, that disappointing, that sad environment that I am exposed to. He here refers to the classroom. He does not find his classroom any joyous. So there he wants to spend time outdoors in the nature's labs. He is forcefully sent to school and has to spend his day in the classroom with his books, listening to his teachers, which do not give him any happiness at all. How can the bird that is born for joy sit in a cage and sing? How can a child, when fears annoy, but droop his tender wing, and forget his youthful spring? Here he says that how can the bird that is born for joy? Every bird that is born to be joyous, is born to be happy. So such a bird who is born to be happy can never sit in a cage and sing. So if you forcefully put a bird in a cage and expect that bird to sing inside the cage, you will never see that happening. Similarly, how can a child when fears annoy? How can you expect a child to go to school and be surrounded by his teachers and be afraid of them throughout, but droop his tender wing and forget his youthful spring? So he says that just the way a bird that is forcefully put into cage not only forgets how to sing, but also droops his wings. Droops bring down. Cage provides a very limited space to the bird to fly. It cannot even open its wings properly. So just like a bird that is put inside the cage is forced to drop down its wings and stop singing because the bird is no longer happy. Similarly, a child like me who is sent to school forcefully, who is always scared of his teachers, what will the child do other than forgetting his youthful spring? In the time when the child is growing and the time when the child should be happy and joyous, the child is sent to school under the strict vigilance of the teachers whom he is utterly scared of. So how can you expect a child to be happy just like a bird who would not be happy when put in cage? So in this stanza, he compares himself with a bird in cage. Since there is a comparison which is being made without the use of like or as, what poetic device do we use? We use metaphor. So this poor boy compares himself to a bird in cage and says that just like a bird who is forcefully put into cage can never be happy and free again, but will be forced to stop singing and enjoying. Similarly, a child like me, in the age when he should be left alone to enjoy the nature, is forcefully sent to school. The child is obviously bound to forget his youth, his happiness will be lost. Let us continue further. O father, O mother, if buds are nipped and blossoms blown away, and if the tender birds are stripped of their joy in the springing day by sorrow and care's dismay, how shall the summer arise in joy or the summer fruits appear? Now he requests, he urges his parents. He says, O father and mother. So he's calling out to his parents. He says, O father and mother, if buds are nipped means if they are, buds, we all know, the small baby flowers. But first we have the buds and slowly and gradually they open their petals and they become a whole flower. So he says that if a bud, which is at a very early stage of becoming a flower, if at that early stage only the bud is broken, or if the blossoms are blown away, blossoms means the fully grown flowers. If those fully grown flowers are also blown away in the heavy wind, in a heavy storm, if the petals of that flowers are blown away, and if the tender plants are stripped of their joy in springing day, when it is the spring season, the spring is the season meant for the plants and the flowers to blossom. And if in those spring, if in the spring season only, if the buds are broken, if the petals of the flowers are blown away, and if the tender, the small plants who have not even grown up, they are stripped of their joy, if they have been, if they also are broken, if their joy is taken away from them by sorrow and care's dismay, they will obviously become very sorrowful and they will become full of dismay. They will be very disappointed. So if in the spring season the flowers, the buds, the plants are not able to grow themselves, how will you be able to see the summers arise in joy? Without these flowers and plants, the summers will not arise, or even the summer fruits will not appear. So here he is striking a comparison between himself and a flower or a plant which is at the early stage of growth. He says that just the way if a plant which is growing, which is in its early stages of growth, if in those stages the plant is broken, the bud is broken, the plant would not be able to grow to its full stature, would not be able to give us the happiness that we look forward to in the summer or the spring season. Similarly, if children like me, in their early stages, the time when it is for them to enjoy their lives, if they are sent to school, all their happiness will be taken away from them. How would you expect such a child to become happy in future, to have a wonderful life ahead? So here again, since he is comparing himself with a bird, so the poetic device that we have used is a metaphor. So my dear students, what was the poem about? The poem was about a schoolboy. In the first stanza, he tells us about the things that make him happy. Rising early in the summer morning, listening to the birds singing when they sit on the trees, listening to the horn which is blown by the hunter distance away. Also, he feels that the skylark sings with him. All these things make him happy. But then the boy also says that being sent to school in the summer morning takes away all his happiness, because he has to be there under the cruel eye of his teacher. He takes no delight in his books or the lectures which are delivered by his teachers. He then compares himself to a bird who is put in cage for sleep. So he says that a bird who is put inside the cage would never be able to sing, would never be able to fly and enjoy his life. Similarly, a child who is sent to a cage, that is school at an early age, would never be able to enjoy his own life. Also, he compares himself to a bud. He says a bud that is not able to grow in the spring season would not give you any joy in the summer season. If it is nipped away, it is broken away. Similarly, a child at his early stage, if he is forced to go to school, you would never be able to see that child prosper or be happy in his life. So we very clearly have understood that the boy was not happy going to school at all. Let us discuss the back exercises of the poem now. Find 3 or 4 words or phrases in stanza 1 that reflect the child's happiness and joy. So there are multiple phrases in the first stanza that talk about the child's happiness, as we have read. In the very first line, he says, I love to rise in the summer morn. Then he says, when the birds sing on every tree, the distant huntman winds is on, skylark sings with me, oh what sweet comfort. So all the first 5 lines talk about the happiness of this little boy in the first stanza. In stanza 2, the mood changes. Which words or phrases reflect the changed mood? The very first line. Going to school in the summer morn drives all the joy away. So that clearly shows he lost all his happiness when he was forced to go to school. The cruel eye outworn refers to what? Refers to the lessons that he did not find any interesting, or he found them very difficult to understand. Nor sit in learning's bar, borne through with the dreary shower. Which of the following is a close paraphrase? Paraphrase means the explanation of the above stanza. So he simply says that he does not like to sit in the school, learn anything in the school, because he feels that his teachers simply go on lecturing and explaining.